Hey all, it's Misty with My Paper Cuts, and I'm coming on today with my very first Sheetload of Cards share. Now, I have been lurking in the background and watching Call Me Crafty Owl for quite a while. I've always been very intrigued by this whole project that she does. This is amazing that she does all of this work. She provides it to everybody for free. And I've always been a fan, but I've never really dove in and done it. I've always made in multiples and just gone with whatever design I was doing. But I'm sure I've already shared in a video, or I will be sharing in a video, that my goal this year I'm calling the Great Paper Purge of 2023. And now that does not mean that I'm just getting rid of all my paper. I am purging paper that I don't use, which I've gone over, but I'm also forcing myself to use as much paper as I can this year. In turn, that will force me to use a lot of the other things that I have, you know, my stamps, my dies, and even mixed media. But one of the things that I had was I have a lot of single sheets. Now, either they're single sheets from when I bought them as singles, or I have like the partial paper pads because I am a Simon Says Stamp card kit member, and they always give you like one sheet each of a collection, usually a 6x6 or a 6x8. And I have a lot of those, and I need to use them up because all this paper is taking up way too much room in my craft room. I am overwhelmed with how much paper I have. I would even be ashamed to share how much I have, but I will kind of share the process as I go along in bits and pieces. So I have decided to jump in and use these sketches and just cut up the paper and let the chips fall where they may. I tend to color. I have shared previously my bin of all my already colored images. I tend to color in my little bits of spare time. So a lot of these things where she's putting a sentiment, eventually I will probably put colored images and such. I do have a whole bunch of these already done, but this was the very first one that I did, so I decided to start here. And I decided to start with my single sheets and those partial paper pads from Simon Says, just to get them used up. So it happens to be Valentine making season, so I have made quite a few Valentines, which will come in other videos, but I did start with just some simple sheets that I had because this called for two 12x12 pattern papers, and I have a ton to use. So the very first one I did was, and I think this might be my mind's eye, but I had this really pretty floral print and a matching stripe in my collection. They were single-sided. So I pulled out the January 2023 mini slimline. And the other reason I was excited when this was the first one that I happened to decide to do was I made some mini slimlines for Halloween, and I had ordered some envelopes to go with it. And like a doofus, I didn't pay attention, and I got a box of 500 envelopes. So that is another thing that I need to use up. So I was really excited seeing mini slimlines in her sketches. So that's where I started. So anyway, this is the first card that I decided to do. So you get the floral background with the striped forefront piece, or of course you get the reverse with the striped background and the floral. And I love these cards. I decided to do just some supportive cards with Stay Strong Friend and this really nice, that is a pearl sheet of paper that is from Tonic. I inked everything. I did tracing wheel stitching along the edges, and then the inside says, "Friendship is the comfort of knowing that even when you feel alone, you aren't." I do like mini slimlines because they're perfect for gift cards. So I thought I would tell you what I used in case you're interested. So this floral piece here is from Crafter's Companion. It's this piece here. This is called Leaves and Vines. I think that was a Tuesday morning purchase. The circle is cut with my deckled circles from Honeybee. And then the sentiment, both Stay Strong Friend and the inner one, is from this Simon Says stamp that says Say It All Friend. This is such a useful set if you want to make cards for your fellow crafters. It's just really supportive friendship type sentiments, and there's a lot that you can use inside the card, which I love. So that was my first set, and I had so much fun, and I was so thrilled with how fast these came together because I didn't have to think about the layout, that I did a second set. And so the second set, I actually, and this hurt a little bit, but recently, and I didn't share the haul, I went to a huge craft sale. Two ladies were both purging their craft rooms, and they had some of the best stuff. And I bought so much basic gray paper. I've always been a basic gray fan. If any of you are interested in seeing the basic gray collections that I got, let me know, because I know some of you are recent crafters who missed out on basic gray. But I had 2 individual sheets of the paper, and I made a set of cards again. So the papers, I tried to keep the manufacturing strips so that I could tell you guys specifically what the papers were. They were from the Infuse line. So I had one called Lace, and I had one that was called Season. And here are the 2 sheets. So this one that has, I don't know, it reminds me of a spirograph, but it's got those circular patterns. And then this one was a floral. So very distressed pink. It was a really pretty line. And I made thank you cards. So you get the floral background again with the circular foreground, or you get the opposite here, which is the circular background with the floral foreground. And so those are the cards that I made with the basic gray. And the flower, I made my own. I just inked some paper and splattered it with some different sprays. I used some mica spray and some regular just brown spray. And the wreath, the flower, and these stems that are on here all came from this set from Sizzix, which is called Winter Garland, which I picked up at Tuesday morning. It's a wonderful wreath. And I cut a circle to go behind the wreath because it was really busy with basic gray pattern behind it. And I just stamped it with a wood background stamp and cut it with my normal circle dies. And then I did edge the pieces here, this bottom piece, with a gold sparkle marker from Tonic, which, sorry, I have put away. And then I did do a dollop of a buttermilk, it's called buttermilk, drop from Nuvo as well. Sorry, I'm all over the place. I'm so tired. I've done so many videos. I just had this with gratitude stamp, and then inside just a thanks for everything, just a general thank you card. But this is so much fun, you guys. If you haven't tried Sheetload of Cards and you're looking to use up your paper, or you're just stumped for a card design, definitely check this out because the directions are very clear. They're free. You just need to watch her videos to get the information, and everything you could just print it out. I printed out all of 2022 and 2021, and I literally am just picking a paper that I have, finding the first sketch that matches the number of patterns that I have, and just going for it. I will explain more in depth if you're interested. So I am using up my Valentine's Day paper because I got my Valentine's Day bin out and I have quite a few collections, but I did have some partial paper pads as well as some loose paper for my Valentine's Day, and I'm determined to not have those in there. And then I will start working through my full collections for larger projects. But what I've been also doing is my Christmas paper collection is completely out of control. I have 2 of those Totally Tiffany paper shelf units. They're like a little cart, and they are completely full of Christmas paper. And so what I've been doing is anytime I make a set of cards with the Sheetload, I am pulling from my Christmas collection and I'm making bases with the layout with those papers as well. So then when it comes time to do whatever, the bases are already made, the pattern paper is already there. I just need to embellish them. And that has been working beautifully for me because I am using up more and more paper. And like I said, I'm reserving paper pads and paper collections for larger projects, but I am using up all of my miscellaneous paper scraps. If you have like one sheet left over from a collection, this is a great way to use it up because you could just substitute in a stamped background or another pattern paper that goes with it. I'm having so much fun with this, you guys, so brace yourselves. I'm going to have a lot of Sheetload of Cards videos to share. And Call Me Crafty Al, I think it's Alicia, I think is how, or maybe it's Alicia. Girl, you rock. This is the best thing ever. I love it. I cannot say enough about it. Thank you so much for all of the work you put into this. It's absolutely wonderful. And I will see you all in the next video. Toodles.